a lot of happenings. Have been a lot of strange occurrences. I mean, from UFOs shutting down airports in Beijing to saucers flying out of Antarctica, all sorts of paranormal, wacky stuff going on. I mean, it could be our own, who knows, but we're going to touch up on it a little bit on this broadcast. But ladies and gentlemen, it's important to talk about who my guest is on today's show. He'll be joining us. His name is Chris Geo. Sure you've heard of him from the Chris Geo Show, which airs on the Genesis Communications Network. And he joins us now. Chris, are you there?
Hey, thanks for having me on. And I got to say, the way you introduced the show was awesome. But what was more awesome was that intro music. What was that? Because I was jamming that the whole time.
Oh, man. You know, that's kind of the essence of how I envision myself taking on the ruling elite, man. This shadow government, this scary boogeyman that you and I know to be real. That's actually from Japanese music, the original Japanese music to Bardock, father of Goku. I mean, I'm going back to like my middle school days when I'd be rocking like a freaking Trunks shirt or something, man.
Nice. I've got a bumper that's a dubstep remix of Bionic Commando theme, that old Nintendo game.
Right.
I totally feel you when it comes to that.
Exactly. See, and that's what a couple of friends have told me. Hey, man, that reminds me of like a Nintendo arcade game. It just sounds awesome. And yeah, I love that theme, man. It really pumps me up to just, fly through space and punch these reptilians in the eye. You know what I mean? Their third eye.
Definitely. And, it's important to have fun as well. And, listen to good music, go out and watch a good movie or something like that. A lot of us get stuck in this research, and that's all we're doing is just researching. But we really need to take time to enjoy ourselves. And just some people, like when I joke around on my show or I'll play bumpers that are not truth related, people will write and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm having a good time. That's what I'm doing. If I'm not having a good time behind this microphone, then there's no point in me doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll pretty much, just scare yourself into oblivion with some of this really factual conspiracies. I mean, it's conspiracy reality, what's going on, what we're studying. And tell us, Chris, about some of the articles that you cover on your website, Truth Frequency. I believe it's truthfrequencynews.com, right? Or did I get that wrong? Let's see.
Truthfrequencyradio.com. We consolidated everything. Right. We used to have the news site, but put it all together. I mean, oh my God, we'll get into all kinds of stuff because the truth has many different layers to it. On the surface, right, you have the political spectrum, the geopolitical spectrum. And that's very important stuff for us to understand. But below that, or maybe even above that, however you want to look at it, behind that, there you go. That's a better way to put it. Behind that, you have things that are going on in different realms of understandings. For instance, UFOs, like you mentioned, there's a lot of UFO activity going on right now. Mainstream media doesn't want to touch it. A lot of alternative media as well. They say, well, I just want to stick to the truth and stick to the facts and whatever I can prove. But we have to look at the whole spectrum of everything, even all the way up to a reptilian agenda, because you look at every religion and every religion has a devil. Every religion has demons, and they're all reptilian beings. So any way you want to look at it, whether they're physical beings, interdimensional beings, spiritual beings, apparently these reptilians actually do exist. So we try to cover the full spectrum.
Oh man. And you guys do. And that's why I have you on. I mean, it goes back to, that's a brilliant point. It goes back all the way back to the ancient Sumerian days, right, Chris? I mean, you see, Egypt, when you look at their hieroglyphics, they always have these reptilians or these, snake figures with their little hats or whatever, the little Egyptian hats dancing in the background. It's right there. It's plain as day.
The Sumerian tablets are the most fascinating, in my opinion. And you can look at Sitchin's work, at least I can look at Sitchin's work, one of two ways. Either A, he's completely and totally 100% right in everything that he's saying, and we have all these religious people rushing to try to debunk him, which I found to be more truthful than the other possibility. The other possibility is that he just made everything up completely and started working backwards to explain mysteries like the tunnels and the pyramids, which are also talked about in Sumerian tablets, the creation stories and whatnot. But I really resonate with what Sitchin has translated the tablets as, because you look at all these religions, they all have the same creation story, but for the first time, and the oldest translations too, which are the Sumerian tablets, tell us that these were physical beings that walked the earth. Now, when you throw that into the Old Testament and you start looking at Jehovah as a physical being walking around here, then all of a sudden it all starts to make sense.
it goes to us believing that maybe some of these beings that came down are divine. I don't necessarily think so. I think they were trickster gods in a way. I think they came down here and, we were fascinated with, making the wheel or starting a fire, and they kind of maybe influenced us a little bit. Hey, do it this way. But I think they imposed their technology and just their grandiose, just themselves come from another planet on us. And we're kind of like ape-like still, So I think I don't know, man. I don't think it's a matter of them maybe being divine, as many people have kind of pointed out. Oh no, they're gods. I think they were trickster gods, some of them.
I
see what's going
agree.
on today, right? Shadow government.
When people look at Sitchin's work and try to ascribe the Anunnaki as being gods, they haven't really read the Sitchin's work, because it very clearly says there was one passage in particular where they're sitting up and trying to determine on what to do with Earth, because Nibiru was coming back. There was going to be a flood, and they were trying to determine whether they were going to tell the people so they can save themselves or not. And the argument between the gods, between Enlil, well, I say gods with a lower G, between Enlil, Anki, and the rest that were at the council, was, what do we do with these creatures? Number one, we violated universal law by coming to another planet. Number two, we violated universal law by manipulating their DNA. Now it's against the creator of all for us to try to save them. That was the argument. So they acknowledged the creator of all. They acknowledged that they're not gods. They came and posed as gods, and they were able to control us, and they created separate tribes. They created war. They created alcohol. All this is etched in stone, and it shows you how they've been manipulating us for thousands and thousands of years. And then
amazing.
In this day and age, everybody's all about the bling, bling, bling. It's all about gold. Even the freedom movement is saying we got to go back to the gold standard. Why? Yeah. Why is gold so important? Could it be because it was embedded in our DNA to mine gold, and that's why we were created? Not created, manipulated. Let me put it like that, because created would mean that you created something from scratch. They acknowledged that there was something here, and they added to it.